going to talk about procrastination today, but decided to wait till tomorrow. That's exactly what we do. Or I'm going to wait and start on Monday because Monday will be better. Or I'm going to do this just not right now. I know I'm going to get it done. As soon as, there's always an as soon as. And so we have a lot of time, a lot of place, a lot of people that procrastinate. And I want to talk to you about a simple program to cut procrastination completely out of your life. You want to think about like the fancy word acrasia. Acrasia or something else. It's the force that prevents you from following through on what you set out to do. This force is real. You hit a wall, and when you hit that wall, it's like you lose all motivation, you lose all desire, and everybody wonders why we do that. One reason that we do that is because we have these two selves that we're going to talk about. And so get ready for a plan for your procrastination. Get ready for some note taking, get ready for some practice, and we're going to set out on a course that if you do this over and over again on every one of your goals, you'll eradicate procrastination out of your life for good. And that can't be a bad thing. That can't be a bad thing. Am I right? So one reason that you might go to bed feeling motivated, like you might go to bed feeling really like, I'm going to make a change. And then when you wake up, you're literally not ready to do it. You wake up wanting to stay in bed. You want to you just kind of fall back into these old patterns. And so we want to create a way that's going to get you out of these old patterns. And so if you could remember this, and this is one of your note-taking, one of the note-taking portions of this, is your brain values long-term benefits. So when they're in the future, when it's tomorrow or next week, or let's say you want to run a marathon in a year, your brain is super jazzed about that. Like you get so excited about these future goals. Or I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to lose 30 pounds. I'm going to be ready for the beach this spring, and we're going to head to Jamaica. Your brain loves all that. It loves looking forward to it. It loves diving in, and you kind of almost bathe in this glory of what your future self wants to do. And sometimes just that excitement that you feel, some people ride that wave and actually never do anything. They don't ever like schedule it out. They just feel good about setting a goal. It's kind of like going to church on Sunday and feeling all spiritual and all revved up and ready to serve your neighbor and love everybody. And then Monday comes and you hit the road going to work and you're filled with road rage. And then the rest of the week you just feel kind of angry, hostile, down. You don't really like anybody. You don't want to serve your neighbor. Then you go to church Sunday again and you get all revved up. See this idea of like riding the wave of a future goal is almost habit forming, because then you've got this other part of you that values immediate gratification. We want what feels good now. When we're on the freeway, we want everybody to be in the right lane. We want everybody to be out of the way when we want to go a little bit faster. And so when we get to work, we want everybody to cooperate with it. So there's all these things going on in our life, and we have this future self and we have this present self, okay? And so we've got this little war going on. So the truth about that is this future self really looks forward to the goals, looks forward to the successes. Present self really looks forward to what's going on immediately. Okay, so what does this mean? What does this mean? It means that you can dream about the future and you get super excited. You dream about the future and you feel this adrenaline rush. And then you have this moment that you're going to start the action. And your journey's packed with ideas about what you want to do. But then there's an episode of Lost on, or there's a spouse right by you at 5:30 in the morning when you were going to work out and you'd rather snuggle up and stay with your spouse. there's this conflict all the time. And in the disparity between those two, the I want to go work out, I want to stay in bed and snuggle, there's this guilt and this shame and all of these negative feelings. And so almost it just then feels not worth it. And really what's happening is it's not about that disparity making it not worth it. It's this war between future and present self. And so truth number one, we've just discovered that the problem isn't doing the work. The problem is starting the work. So the problem is not setting a goal or setting a purpose out there. The problem's starting, okay? So you have two selves, present self, future self. When you set goals for yourself, no matter what, the goal that you set is for your future self, right? If I set a goal to run a marathon, that's a goal for my future self because it's down the road. So really think about it. The language that you use, everything that you have going for you is all about future self stuff. I want to lose some weight. I want to make more money. I want to have more money in my vacation fund. That's all you speaking now to your future self. And so all of that is like super fun. All of that's super like really super awesome. But then you have this present self. And so the truth number one says that the future self has fun setting goals. And then the present self wants to have a donut. And so the present self doesn't want to get out of bed. The present self doesn't want to miss that last episode of Lost. And so that's truth number one. So if you could always remember, you're setting goals for future self, but you got this present self that's going to fight you because it wants something immediately. It doesn't want to work for the marathon. It wants to grab a donut and eat it because it knows that'll happen right now. So if you think about it, I've got a donut in the refrigerator that's just, it's got cinnamon sprinkled on it, it's got nice glaze, and I just want it right now. But I also have a marathon goal that I need to drop 30 pounds for or I'll die on the marathon. Phew, that's pretty important, it's pretty exciting, but that's a year away. So I'm going to go eat the donut now. See, that's the war, and then I feel guilty after I ate the donut. So truth number two is this, it's time inconsistency. It's this value that your brain puts on immediate rewards versus future rewards. So you're envisioning what you want your life to be in the future, and your future self values the long-term rewards, but then your present self values right now. And so this time inconsistency, there's this weird little thing that we fall into of, okay, so this is the definition of procrastination. I want the marathon, but I want the donut, so I'll start the marathon Monday. That gives me, it's Thursday today. You don't want to start anything on Thursday. Let's push it to Monday. Monday morning, I'm on. So now you've got a future goal of a marathon and another future goal of Monday you're going to start. Now you feel good about eating the donut. Do you see why you procrastinate? Kind of easy. We procrastinate because of that time disparity. We procrastinate because if we can just kick the can down the road a little bit, we're talking again to our future self, and then we feel good again. We feel good about watching another episode on the television. But what that does is it gets this habit-forming process of taking the immediate moment and not building any momentum towards not procrastinating, okay? So that's truth number two, that future self values long-term rewards, present self values now. And we procrastinate because we take the now and justify it by kicking the can down the road a few days, a few weeks, and then we get in that habit of doing it over and over again. Truth number three, while the future self can set goals, only the present self can take action, okay? So you got this future self that's always excited, loves the goals. Got this present self that wants a donut or wants to sleep in or wants to just watch TV. So we have to realize that only the present self can take action. I know that makes a lot of sense when you say it out loud, but how many times have you decided to take action Monday? How many times have you decided, I'm going to take action in 3 hours? See, that's not taking action. That's setting a new goal for future self. Taking action means go right now. When the time comes to make a decision, you're no longer making a decision for future self. You're making a decision for present self. Am I going to eat the donut right now, or am I going to let it sit in the fridge for somebody else to eat, and I'm going to go to work on my marathon? Now you're in this present moment. Your brain's like only thinking about present self. Your brain really has like this desire for instant gratification. It loves the idea of a marathon, but it also loves the idea of a donut, loves the idea of writing a book, but it also loves the idea about watching TV for a minute because there's a really good episode of Criminal Minds on. And so there's all these things at war with each other. So the present self and the future self are doing their thing, and the future self will fail or get moved down the road a little bit unless you can discipline your present self and do something. And so when you're feeling that anxiety of the disparity between present self and future self, solution one to that is really you need to get certainty going and shift your brain right now. So what you would do is you would break down your future goal into tiny measurable parts. Okay, rule number one, and this is solution one to these problems that we've had. So take whatever you have and measure it. Once we measure something, once we put something on a blueprint, we can see it, and we can see it in our present moment. Okay. When you measure something, it immediately becomes more certain than when it's not measured. When you break down a long-term goal into its measurable parts, it'll make sense right now. So let's pretend it's a marathon, and it's a year away, and you've got to run 26 plus miles for that day, the marathon day. And today, you have to run a half a mile. And then tomorrow, you have to run a mile, and then the next day you have to run a half a mile again at a certain pace. And so you've got this plan that takes you from a half a mile to 26 miles in a year. And so this plan is spelled out step by step. So Thursday morning when you get up, you know right now your measurable goal is a half a mile. That's doable. So when you measure something, you immediately become more certain that you're going to do it. If you wake up Thursday morning and you think, in a year I'm going to run a marathon, so I need to train today. That's not measurable. It's like, okay, train today. So I walked from my bedroom to the refrigerator, got a donut, and walked back to the bedroom. I exercised, got the donut, and I slept in, snuggled with my spouse a little longer. So think about it. If you have a measurable, actual goal for your result of a marathon, then you know you're going to run a half a mile, and you probably have an eating plan there that you've got spelled out, and so the eating plan probably has a cheat day where you can get a donut, and so you're not any longer worrying about the big picture. You shift your worry to something else, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So remember, break down the long-term goal into measurable parts that you can see about what you have to do right now. Now, as we said, the second thing that you do on this making it certain is shift your worry. So the long-term problem is I've got a marathon to run that I'll die if I don't drop some weight, if I don't eat a little healthier, and if I don't exercise. Now, if we shift the worry to something that I can focus on right now, like I'm going to run a half a mile, and here's the pace. I'm going to run a mile, and here's the pace. Then 2 miles, here's the pace. Then 10 miles, here's the pace. And I can see the progression that gets me up to 26 miles easily. And so I'm not worried about the marathon anymore. I'm just worried about today's workout, just one workout, today's workout. And so do you see that I can wake up Friday, future goal is drop 30 pounds, run a marathon. Current goal is train for the marathon and eat healthy. I'm going to procrastinate because both of those two are too vague. I'm still worried about this great big oh my word, I'm not going to lose 30 pounds today. In fact, I probably will gain weight today just because even if I eat healthy, I'm not going to drop 30 pounds. And I can't go out and run 26 miles. It's just going to be terrible. And so I'm just going to put it off. And that's procrastination. But if I've got my plan where today I'm going to eat this many calories and here's my meal plan, here's what I'm going to do today for my exercise, and then the rest of the day is my work day and whatever I want to do day, whatever I've got planned for the rest of the day. So if I shift my worry from the big picture of the marathon or writing a book or learning a language, whatever it is, and I think, no, really today I'm just going to, here's my 5 meals that I'm going to eat. Here's what I'm going to have. My cheat day's in 3 days. I know that's coming. So that's good. I got a little reward coming. And I also know exactly what I'm going to do for exercise today. So I'm no longer worried about big picture. I'm worried about now. And that shifts me out of procrastination mode. Solution number 2, success is a result of committing to the fundamentals and then doing them over and over again. The very first fundamental. Do you remember that famous basketball coach that taught his players how to put their socks on and tie their shoes? Now, these basketball players were in the NBA. They knew how to tie their shoes. They knew how to put socks on. But he didn't want them getting blisters, and so he made them do the fundamentals of putting their shoes on, putting their socks on correctly. And he just had them do it over and over again. Sounds silly, but he was one of the winningest basketball coaches ever because he knew about fundamentals. Well, the fundamentals of of success instead of procrastination is the power of momentum. That's number 1. So the power of momentum says whenever you set a goal, do something right now. So if my goal's to run a marathon or write a book or learn a language, whatever your goal is, right now I can create my workout plan. I can get on the internet right now and I can search out marathon training plans. I can search out Duolingo plans. I can search out Stephen King's book on writing, and then I can set a plan together right now. And then my momentum's going, and I'm more likely to not procrastinate. If I sit here and I say, okay, I'm going to run a marathon in a year, and then I get up and go do something else, there's no momentum. See, I haven't started yet. So the power of momentum means do something right now. Let's say you're at work and your goal is to not get behind on emails. So right now, take 2 minutes and go respond to some emails. And now you got momentum. So the power of momentum. Number 2 on the fundamentals is know the purpose you have for the tasks at hand. What is the purpose of these tasks? If you know the reason why, and the bigger the reason why, the more motivated you'll be right now. Make the rewards of taking actions immediate. So if my plan today is to run a half a mile, when I run that half a mile, the reward is I've already started, I've got that half mile in and it felt good, and I'll feel that. That's the reward. Or it might be that if I do my 3 days worth of training, I get a cheat day. And maybe every 3 days I get a little cheat meal or something like that. But make the reward immediate, make the reward potent, make the reward mean something. Also make the consequences of procrastinating immediate. So if I skip exercise, then I don't get my first cheat day. Or if I skip writing that 250 words. And so if I'm going to write a whole book, if I'm going to write a 362-page book, just do 250 words at a time. And if I don't do this 250 words, then I have to miss something. I have to miss watching TV that night, or I get a consequence that's immediately. And so I automatically shift out of the reward of procrastination because of present self wanting to just do immediately what makes it feel good. It'll all of a sudden immediately not feel good. And so that helps you go to war against your present self, okay? And so those are the fundamentals, and you can organize those rewards, consequences, purposes, and that momentum right now. You can do it right now, okay? Now, another fundamental that has been talked about already in this is it's like literally design your future actions. So think about what matter do you need to organize to achieve your goal. You want to have all your tools there. You want to have all of your all of your knowledge base ready, so that when you hit the ground on this goal on start date, your present self has all the tools ready. So if the first tool that you need is a workout plan, have the workout plan ready the morning you're going to work out. If you're going to write a book, have a word processor, whether it be a laptop or a desktop or iPad, whatever it is. Have your tools ready to go. The minute you just say you're going to start writing, have something to write. Have something to write on. So let's say you're going to save money for a future goal of a vacation. Have an account with zero balance that you start putting money in right now. So you want to have all of the matter unorganized organized. And that way, when you're ready to do this thing, whatever the thing is, you've got your tools in place, you've got everything organized. And so you don't come to that Thursday morning and you don't come to it ready to start and you realize, I don't even have a plan. I don't even have an account. I don't even have this tool or that tool, so I can't do it. Now you're putting it off and procrastinating because you didn't prepare properly. So you have to be prepared, okay? Now we've talked about this solution number 3 quite a bit. I'm going to labor over it. The power of momentum is so important that it needs 2 spots in your video clip here. The power of momentum is when you take an achievable task and you do it right now instead of waiting till Monday. So many times it's Wednesday and you set some goals and you say, okay, Monday I'm going to start. What I challenge you to do is begin right now. If you set a goal on Wednesday to do something, start something right now and get momentum on your side. If you think through this lens of there's the 2-minute rule, okay? If you have the goal of saving money for a vacation in the future, take 2 minutes, go into your bank account online and set up a sub account and label it vacation fund. And then every time you put money into that, transfer money into that you have budgeted for vacation, you'll feel good. Or if you're going to do a marathon and you decide Wednesday you're going to, then take 2 minutes and get on the internet and research marathon training programs for people of your weight and height and size. See what I mean? No matter what, start right now. Don't wait till Monday ever. Break down the goals into measurable small bits. And I would challenge you to go this detailed. I would challenge you, if it's important to you to not procrastinate, think of a way to measure it in 15-minute increments to begin with. Every 15 minutes, you check off an accomplishment. Every 15 minutes, you check off an accomplishment. Make tasks more achievable, and really, it's helping you get that momentum going, okay? It's helping you get that once you have like 8 15-minute tasks, you're not thinking, 2 hours. You're thinking 8 wins, 8 successes. Have you ever set a goal and then you broke it down into just days? One time we set a goal, for my faith, we have a book called the Book of Mormon, and we set a goal as a family to read it just 15 minutes every single night, no matter what. And the first 5 nights we did it, and it was great. It was a little bit like, okay, we're not in the habit. But I'm telling you, by night number 800, it was now just so routine. It was just little 15-minute increments, and we just threw it into the evening somewhere when all of us were in the house. And we ended up logging in like well over 4,000 nights of doing that. And so our kids, from the time they were in elementary school clear through high school, we never missed a night. And if one of our kids was gone, we generally either get them on the phone or they would quietly read it by themselves, wherever they were at. So we'd always be doing it together. And we stayed right together on it. It was just a good little pulled us together as a family. But the point of it is once you hit night number 800, it's easy to go to 4,000, night number 4,000. It's the first 5 or 6 nights of 15-minute increments that were hard. But once you have momentum going, then it's really becomes hard to stop. It becomes, oh no, I don't want to break the chain. I'm on night number 3,900. Who wants to not get to 3,901? And so make it achievable, and then finish the tiny tasks that add up to the large tasks. If you're going to write a book and you just do 250 words a day, pretty quick you're going to have a 360-page book just by doing 250 words at a time. And it's easy to do 250 words. You can do that in just 5 minutes. And so think about once you're on, 250 word increment number 300, it's easy to keep going. And so when you break it down, you can really pull everything together, and it becomes, you don't procrastinate because you've got momentum on your side, you've got the tools organized, and you see success every day, which is the reward. Pulling it all together, solution number 4, make your future self and your now self combine by have a governing purpose that's way out there. The purpose is the marathon. The servant purposes is the daily schedule and routine. So your daily successes will add up to your future success, which pulls your future self governing purpose and your servant purpose self into one self. You're your own governor, your own governing self, and you have a servant self that serves you. So you want to make sure that the purpose for your long-term goal meets with your values, with your character traits, with what you really want to do. And that's really the way to kill procrastination. Now, it does sound overly simplified, but it actually is that simple. Give this plan a try. You've got it. You've taken some notes. You know what to do next. Let's see how it works for you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.